Beneath Greenland's endless white horizon lies something that hasn't seen sunlight in thousands, maybe even millions of years. Scientists drilled into the ice expecting frozen water. What they found instead rewrote parts of Earth's history. And the deeper they looked, the stranger it became. Because Greenland isn't just a frozen island, it's a time capsule, a graveyard, a secret vault of ancient forests, massive impact craters, abandoned military bases, and possibly things we are not prepared to see again. The real question isn't what's under Greenland. The real question is, what happens if it comes back? When most people think of Greenland, they imagine one thing: ice, an endless, lifeless desert of white stretching toward the horizon. And they're not wrong. Nearly 80% of Greenland is covered by a massive ice sheet. In some places, that ice is over 3 kilometers thick. That's nearly 2 miles of compressed, ancient snow-stacked layer upon layer for hundreds of thousands of years. From space, it looks solid, still, permanent. But ice is deceptive, because ice doesn't just freeze, it preserves. And when scientists began studying Greenland more closely, they realized something unsettling. That ice is hiding a world beneath it. A world that once breathed. A world that once grew. A world that once thrived. And it's still there, waiting. In 1966, during a Cold War military project known as Camp Century, US scientists drilled deep into Greenland's ice. They were building a secret nuclear missile base beneath the surface. But that's another story. What matters is what they pulled up from below. At the very bottom of a 2-mile deep ice core, they found something unexpected. Not just rock, not just sediment, but frozen soil. And inside that soil, tiny plant remains, leaves, twigs, organic material, proof that Greenland was once green. Not partially green, not along the coast, but covered in forests. That discovery shocked scientists because it meant that Greenland, at some point in the relatively recent geological past, had no massive ice sheet. It wasn't a frozen wasteland, it was alive. And if it melted once, it can melt again. In 2018, scientists studying radar data from beneath Greenland's ice noticed something enormous. A circular structure buried under nearly a kilometer of ice, 31 kilometers wide. It was an impact crater, one of the largest ever discovered on Earth. It had been hidden for tens of thousands of years. No visible scar, no obvious surface damage, just buried beneath the ice like a secret. This crater was likely formed by a massive iron meteorite, and its impact would have been catastrophic. Some researchers believe it may have contributed to sudden climate shifts at the end of the last ice age. But here's what makes it more unsettling. We didn't know it was there. For thousands of years, this massive wound in Earth's crust was completely hidden. How many more are there? How many geological secrets are buried beneath 2 miles of frozen silence? Now let's go back to Camp Century. Built in the 1960s, it was supposed to be a top-secret network of nuclear missile launch sites hidden under Greenland's ice. The idea was simple. If war broke out, the missiles would launch from beneath the Arctic. Invisible, untouchable. But the ice had other plans. The structure began shifting. The tunnels slowly collapsed. The base was abandoned. But here's the problem. It was never fully removed. Buried beneath the ice are nuclear waste, chemical waste, diesel fuel, abandoned infrastructure. At the time, scientists assumed the ice sheet would remain frozen forever. But Greenland is warming, and as the ice melts, Camp Century may resurface, not as a secret weapon, but as a toxic time bomb. Recent radar mapping has revealed something even more incredible. Beneath Greenland's ice sheet lies a complete landscape: mountains, valleys, rivers, even a canyon system larger than the Grand Canyon. This isn't just flat rock, it's a buried world, a preserved terrain that once shaped water flow and ecosystems. Some valleys may still contain subglacial lakes, liquid water trapped beneath ice for thousands of years, in total darkness, completely isolated. And in extreme conditions like that, life finds a way. Microbial ecosystems may exist down there, organisms that have never interacted with modern Earth. Life forms adapted to crushing pressure and freezing temperatures. What would happen if they reached the surface? Every layer of Greenland's ice traps tiny bubbles of ancient atmosphere, air from 10,000 years ago, 20,000 years ago, even older. When scientists drill ice cores, they aren't just studying frozen water, they're studying time itself. Each bubble is a snapshot of Earth's climate: greenhouse gas levels, temperature shifts, volcanic eruptions. But here's the disturbing part. Those bubbles also tell us something else. Earth's climate can change suddenly, rapidly, violently. Greenland's ice has melted significantly before in Earth's history, and when it did, sea levels rose dramatically. If Greenland's entire ice sheet melted today, global sea levels would rise about 7 meters. That's over 23 feet. Entire coastal cities would vanish. New York, Miami, Shanghai, London, gone. And Greenland's melt rate is accelerating. Beneath ice sheets and permafrost lie trapped greenhouse gases. Methane, a gas far more potent than carbon dioxide. As Greenland warms, melting doesn't just release water. It can release gases trapped for thousands of years. Methane release creates a feedback loop. More warming, more melting, more release. And this isn't speculation. Methane plumes have already been detected in Arctic regions. The more Greenland changes, the more unstable the system becomes. And we don't fully understand how quickly it could accelerate. This is where things become unsettling. In Siberia, scientists have revived ancient viruses from permafrost that were over 30,000 years old. They were dormant, but not dead. Greenland's ice preserves organic material exceptionally well. If forests survived, if microbes survived, could viruses survive too? Scientists don't think we're on the verge of a zombie apocalypse, but they also admit something important. We have very little data because until recently, we couldn't access what was buried there. And the more the ice retreats, the more we discover. Satellite data shows Greenland is losing hundreds of billions of tons of ice each year. Massive meltwater rivers now flow across its surface every summer. Entire glaciers are destabilizing. Some scientists describe Greenland's ice sheet as sitting on a tipping point, a threshold. Once crossed, melting becomes self-sustaining. And here's the most unsettling part. Tipping points don't give warnings. They happen. And once triggered, they're extremely difficult to reverse. Greenland feels distant, remote, disconnected from daily life, but it isn't. The ice sheet influences global ocean currents, specifically the Atlantic meridional overturning circulation. If enough fresh water pours into the North Atlantic, it could weaken this system, and that affects weather patterns, storm intensity, temperature distribution, agricultural cycles. Greenland isn't just hiding secrets, it's connected to the stability of modern civilization. For thousands of years, Greenland has hidden its secrets beneath a frozen shield. Ancient forests, meteor impacts, military mistakes, microbial ecosystems, trapped gases, buried landscapes, and all of it preserved in silence. We like to believe Earth is stable, predictable, under control. But Greenland tells a different story. It tells us that our planet has changed dramatically before. It tells us that ice can vanish. It tells us that what is buried can return. And maybe the most unsettling truth isn't what's hiding beneath Greenland's ice. It's that we're starting to uncover it, layer by layer, year by year, whether we're ready or not.